reported. Jack Sprague in the number 31. We were told his window net was down, and there was a consultation flag probably about to come out on his car running in 6th position, just as that caution came out. More on that story when we return.
Man has always been fascinated with speed. But winning is more than a flash of speed. It's a measure of skill. A test of guts. That's why the true spirit of NASCAR lies not in the machine, but in the man who drives it. We're proud to be part of this great sport. Busch, the official beer of NASCAR.
Football can be exciting, but truck football, now that's a rush. So if you're gonna tackle it, you better get a hold of the right equipment. A 1995 Ford Ranger 4x4.
Red 39!
Complete with switch-on 4-wheel drive, new 4-wheel anti-lock brakes, and a whopping 4-liter V6. So get a Ford Ranger 4x4 and play truck football.
How am I going to spike this thing?
When cars raced at an awesome 5 miles per hour, Mobil Oil was there. When a race car broke 100, Mobil was in it. Mobil was in the winner of the first race across America. And just last year, Mobil 1 had the most first, second, and third place wins on the Indy circuit. We've been helping engines last for a long time. Mobil, changing oil for over 125 years.
In a sport where nerves are made of steel, the tools are made by Craftsman, the official tools of NASCAR, NHRA, and IndyCar racing, only at Sears.
Hey, you get a tough case of athlete's foot. The itching, the cracking, the burning. You want a medicine that acts tough. Boom, Tough Actin Tinactin. Clinically proven Tinactin cures even tough cases of athlete's foot fungus. Get Tough Actin Tinactin.
They are born too soon and too small. Now their families face the fight of their lives. Stories of miracle babies on 48 Hours, Thursday.
Let's take a look at the standings. To the top 10 here. Hornaday now in front. Skinner in second, but you can throw a coin in the air and call it heads or tails on that every lap. Setzer, Corelli, Benson, the top 5, a little further back. I'll give you that in a moment, I guess.
Actually, Joe Ruttman is in the 5th position now. Benson has dropped back to 6th.
Right. We have Gordon Gay 7th, Rodney Combs 8th, Bob Strait at 9th, and the computer is in the hospital.
This is great for these truck racers right now. You've seen Butch Miller there with his lid up earlier, and right now he's trying to think, what does he need to do to this truck to make it better at what we call halftime? 39 laps have gone by now. When they stop, they're going to say, hey, here's what I need to do to this truck. So there's Butch right now with his lid down. Very dark shield. He's putting it back up to get a little bit of air. And he's probably communicating with his crew chief, trying to figure out what he needs to do to be a little bit better.
Any idea if it's hotter in these cabs than it is in a Grand National or Winston Cup piece of equipment?
Well, I tell you, it's been hot lately, but I think it's a little bit hotter there because they don't have a lot of ventilation.
Here's Mike.
Jack Sprague has a flat left rear tire. This is the only condition under which you could change a tire and not lose 5 laps due to penalty. He was black flagged just as the caution came out for debris for a window net down. They have since replaced that on an earlier stop. Johnny Benson called into his crew. He says, is the sway bar hooked up? And they said, yes, the rear bar is hooked. John said the truck just felt like the handling had gone away as if it had come disconnected. P.J. Jones says he can't get the front end to stick to the racetrack. Even when he's off the brakes in the corner, he's got a bad push. And Joe Ruttman in the number 84 Ford says his truck is really loose coming off the corner.
So we will see a lot of adjustments once we come to the halftime.
Boy, that is a great break for Jack Sprague. Look at this. The yellow comes out, his window net falls down, he has a left rear flat. So he gets to get a new tire, put his window net back up, and he's back on the racetrack. So that's pretty good luck right there.
Stayed in the lead lap.
I think he put $10 on the plate this morning, huh?
You know he did. That's great. You know, Jack Sprague's a good race car driver, and he's found this truck series. Motorsports Design is behind him and helping that team out. They struggled early, and he's running great in the points race right now.
Jack Sprague out of Spring Lake, Michigan. Did a good job here. Take a look at the CBS Sports Racing schedule. On Saturday, July 15th at 4 o'clock in the afternoon out at Colorado National. And that is some beautiful short track. If you like short track racing, CBS will give it to you for the first time here on CBS. Real old-fashioned short track racing with brand new fashion super trucks. And then, of course, it's off to the Die Hard 500 at Talladega. Always one of our favorites and so competitive. 1 o'clock Eastern, July the 23rd. And don't forget our next Grand National race Sunday, November 5th, Decision Maker. In the Grand National ranks, the Jiffy Lube Miami 300. And we understand that August 8th, they're going to turn wheels for the first time. Chad Little's going down there for some tire testing for Goodyear. So things are really coming to life at Homestead, the Homestead Motorsports Complex, where we'll be November 5. Down for the green, 40 laps complete. Hornaday to bring them up to the line with Mike Skinner in second. And what a show they put on. Lap cars down to the inside. Cars in the lead, lap on the outside. We're ready to go racing.
Those are all trucks.
Every single one of them.
Couldn't resist again. You'll catch me.
See, Ned's perfect, Kenny.
Oh, yes, yeah. You've already heard me make that mistake several times.
I tell you what's going to be interesting now. We've had a caution here to gather all these trucks, not cars, back up, and we're going to see who really has got what now.
Yeah, was Dennis Setzer sort of riding and taking care of his tires, and is it time to go now? And Rick Corelli had really been running strong. Early in the race, he got pretty far behind the leaders, but then he began to pick up on them a little bit, so he's sitting there in fourth place. He's being challenged right now by Joe Ruttman. Joe Ruttman in the Ernie Irvin truck.
Yep. That Brady Ford. Ruttman Ford looks so good at Bristol. What a move he made on Miller in the final moments of that one. He's right back in it. There's the front three. Hornaday, Skinner, and Setzer.
I talked to the fifth place truck on your right-hand side of your screen, Joe Ruttman. He's really happy. He hasn't won a race in a long time. He's coming off of a great victory as the sixth truck goes high, and now Joe Ruttman underneath of him.
And he's won here in USAC stock car racing back in the 70s. There he is getting through down on the bottom. Joe Ruttman picking up the spot. That'll put him up in the fourth. Drop Corelli back to fifth.
Remember, Ruttman had dropped all the way back to eighth in the early part of the race. Apparently his truck was pushing a little bit. Here's the lead, or a challenge for the lead at least. Skinner almost had it made. He might have it made now as he gets underneath Hornaday once again, coming off turn 4. And here's Dennis Setzer. Surely he won't try to make it 3.
Oh, yes, he will.
Just as we thought, Ned. The Dennis Setzer truck in third right there, running real easily. Now he's got the tires pulled off. Let's see how long he can stay there with this great duel in front now.
What a show it would be if he could give one of those Chrysler products a win. Ford won the last time out after Chevy had taken the first 8 races of the season. But look at that number 30 Hall of Nail.
Now this lap time that we're seeing here on the screen isn't going to be very impressive with them running side by side, because they won't run as fast as if they were running in single file. Here's Setzer. He's going to try to make it 3 wide.
Dennis Setzer from Newton, North Carolina. Rear Lackey's number 30. Gosh, 107-mile-an-hour average on the Milwaukee Mile, folks. And the NASCAR Super Trucks are getting into it big time.
Setzer's got him a run. He has the inside, but he backs off. Smart move there. That would have been a wreck.
That was a great move, but you know, it was risky, but he said, hey, look, I'm going to get up there and mix it up with these guys.
I think if he'd have got the nose up even with their nose, he would have gone on in there. But he didn't quite have it that way, and boy, he is working on it.
His truck is impressive. He's able to stay low and yet get up underneath them.
Hey, you talk about product mix, guys. Look at this show. 2 Chevys in front, Dodge in third, Ford in fourth. You can't get more competition than you're getting right here at the Milwaukee Mile, the NASCAR Super Truck Series. Hornaday, Skinner, Setzer, Ruttman, the top 4.
All that side-by-side battling has bunched his whole truck race up. It's unbelievable right now. Setzer going low, looking low underneath the 3 truck.
Top 5, 8/10 of a second apart.
They seem to calm down a little bit now, Ned. Ken, the crew chiefs probably got on and said, hey, come on, we got to make it to halfway.
Maybe they were monitoring us and said, hey, you need to back off a little bit and let those TV guys get their breath.
Here's Setzer underneath the 3 truck again of the Goodrich.
Boy, he is getting a run off that second turn. Dennis Setzer in the Dodge number 30. I think think he'll get him going into the turn. Let's see. He backs off a little bit, but he'll get that thing turned, and he's been getting a good bite off of turn 4 as well. Down below that yellow line, that's where they get the best traction.
Mike Skinner's been doing a great job, but he's only been going a little bit higher than he needs to going to turn 3, which opens the door up for anybody that can stay low down in turn 3 and 4. This is turn 1 and 2 right now. Setzer's on the inside. This is where that red number 30 truck's been strong, right there. On 2? Yes, he's been strong right there.
He didn't have the angle coming off the turn that time that he needed. He had to pitch it a little bit coming off there, so he ran even up the back. He's being very nice going into these turns, so he's backing off and leaving Skinner plenty of room there.
Yes, and the 30 truck right now is using such great patience because you can sit there and run on the outside body and just drive him crazy on the outside. You can hold him down. The truck on the inside can't run the line he needs to. The 3 truck is holding him down.
Pinching him down. Yellow is out. Caution is out once again at lap 49.
And they don't race back to the flag in this series. You see Mike Skinner backed off. So even if they made a pass, it wouldn't count. They'll go back to the way they came across the start-finish line last time.
I like the rules of the series, man.
Yeah, that's good. Really, it's safer, certainly.
It really is. You know what happens is we've seen several times where there's been a bad crash, say coming off of this corner right here, turn 4. If there's a bad crash and it says, hey, let's race back to the caution, you take a chance at running into the guy and really hurting somebody. So this is great. The caution comes out, everybody waves their hand, and everybody holds their position.
So we'll take a break and then be right back with more Super Truck Racing from Milwaukee. Truck race. How about a packed house in Milwaukee? 650 horsepower trucks. The NASCAR Super Trucks are putting on some kind of show as you watch Joe Ruttman working Corelli on the outside, the number 6 truck, for 4th place. They've run 3 laps under green while we were in that commercial break. The leaders continue to be Hornaday, Skinner, Setzer. This is your battle, and it's Joe Ruttman pushing that forward up through on the bottom.
Those 2 drivers have traded that position several times in the last 10 laps.
All this battling's going on in front, look in the back of your screen there. Everybody running hard for 10th, 11th, and 12th. Even though these guys are leading this race, they're fighting as hard as they can back there around 10th and 11th.
We're not too many laps away from their break.
20 machines.
Almost 6 cars. Folks, this is hard because we have been covering these car races for so long, but this is great. This is a great new series. The trucks are just doing a tremendous job. Joe Ruttman getting a little bit looser, hitting one of those bumps coming off the turn 4.
Hey, they're all having to take an extra handful now. Those tires getting a little thin with 55 complete. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, Ken, the truck drivers are radioing into their crews, and most of them are saying that they're loose. Mike Skinner has just radioed to his crew, and he says he's loose everywhere. The crew has radioed back and said, cool it, just let those tires cool off. We've got the halfway break coming, and they have new springs ready for Skinner's truck at that point. Mike Joy.
Well, Rick Corelli in the number 6 Chevrolet has gone to school on Joe Ruttman. As Ken pointed out, Ruttman's won some races here and has a lot of laps on the Milwaukee Mile. So Corelli has dropped in behind that Ford to go to school on Joe until halftime, see if he can find a better line around this track for his truck.
Hey, if you're going to go to a truck race, bring your binoculars, because halftime on pit road is something to see. Here's Corelli back underneath that Coca-Cola Ford, Joe Ruttman. What a show between these 2.
They have really been switching back and forth for the 4th position. And Ken, a truck that has really been coming up through the field is Jack Sprague. Remember, we saw him make a pit stop a while back?
He was 19.
There he is, right there in that white truck.
Yeah, he's 7.
Yeah, has come all the way up through there.
Number 31, keep your eye on Sprague. He's flying.
I tell you, Sprague's misfortune of that old left rear tire blown out was a good fortune, because now he's got a new tire on the left rear, giving him a lot of fight getting up off this corner. I'll tell you what, it looks like he's got 20 more horsepower than anybody. He is really coming in the front, Ned.
Yeah, it just gets, as you say, tremendous traction coming off the turn. Here's that battle for the lead again. All right, 2nd and 3rd. That was Setzer coming up on. There's Hornaday out front. And Mike Skinner in 2nd in the black number 3. Then a Setzer in the red number 30.
We're down within the final laps of this halfway break. These guys are just trying to nurse these trucks to it.
6 laps to the break, 6 laps to halftime. And halftime is a feature of NASCAR Super Truck Racing. 10 minutes. Do anything you need. Change rear ends, change motors. Well, I I got to tell you, you have to get Junior Johnson's crew. Remember they used to change motor? They changed one in what, 12, 14 minutes one time.
Years ago, used to change motors until NASCAR outlawed it. Said no more motor changes. Everybody was burning their hands, causing injury, just trying to get a motor changed.
That 31 truck of Jack Sprague passed 2 trucks on the last lap. He passed both Johnny Benson and Joe Rutten.
He's up to 5th, and I bet those guys are saying, where did he come from? But little do they know he's got a new left rear tire on.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, one tire means a lot of difference. Here's Setzer on the bottom. Ooh, he's holding it, gets a little bit loose there. See, if he had that new left rear tire on, he wouldn't have done that.
No, he motored right off that turn and up on the inside of Skinner. But there's Sprague coming up on Rick Corelli.
You know, this is what makes racing. This is a great story. 31 truck starting dead last on that last couple cautions ago, I guess, there, and now really flying to the front.
And on a track that's really very difficult to pass on.
Very difficult.
You have a big advantage, which he does have in the handling characteristics of that truck right now, primarily because of that newer left rear tire.
You see Rick Corelli in the 6th truck, running very high. And then Jack Sprague really gaining a lot of room on, but not coming off as good as he needed to.
Yeah, that'll take a little bit of that off of that advantage he had when he spun that left rear wheel coming off the turn.
3 laps to halftime, guys. Hornaday running off for the first half, but they'll tell you the first half is just getting set up for the second half. This is where you really feel your rig out, know what the conditions are. How much drafting among these trucks on a track like this?
Well, the drafting is not that important, but it is. Setzer getting loose, coming off of 4 again. But right here, when he goes into the corner behind this 3 truck that close, he's going to make that 3 truck very loose. Let's see what happens if he can stay on the bottom. See how the 3 truck pushes out a little bit there, taking the air off the rear spoiler. Now he's getting a better bite.
Chevy versus Dodge as we come down to end the first half. Skinner against Setzer. California against the Carolinas.
Dennis Setzer grew up in my hometown. I saw him start his career at Hickory, North Carolina.
When you were the promoter.
He was in an amateur division then, but has been a big winner in late model stocks of NASCAR.
How's it go, Ned? Hickory, North Carolina, where legends are born, right?
That's what they say.
What a great old racetrack. I love that place.
Yeah, they got it printed on the wall there.
This is a great truck race. We're coming down. There's not very many laps left right now.
And you can see
no, we're
4th
there.
and 5th place trucks are moving in now.
Yep.
Corelli moving in. Jack Sprague real close on Corelli. They'd like to pick up a position or so if they could. That'd just be that one less they'd have to pass in the second
Yellow
half.
coming down as they come to the stripe. Skinner in there. Setzer behind him. Hornaday leading the pack across to complete the first half. It's going to be a lot of fun here, seeing what options these guys will take, trying to make themselves a little quicker for the payoff.
This is going to be a lot of fun with Mike Joy and Dick Berggren in the pits right now, because this is what's going to be.
See Lagasse's car being rolled back behind Mike as they get ready to come out. Field organizing, and Dick Berggren has more.
Well, Mike Bliss's crew has also done an awful lot of work. He came in with no brakes at all. What's it like to run out here with no brakes?
Yeah, we lost the brakes about 10 laps into the race, so I was just out there cruising along because I didn't want to pound the wall down. So we got the brakes back now, and everything looks good.
Yeah, I saw it. He did have a good, solid pedal right now, but I can't imagine going into a corner here at 110 miles an hour and having nothing. That pedal went right to the floor, Ken.
Be a wild moment.
And he managed to stay on the lead lap, too, even though we saw him back off out there and wondered if he had an engine problem or something, but we know now what it was. But he did a great job in staying out there without any brakes.
20 cars remain in the lead lap as we prepare for the second half of this 125-mile Super Truck Championship race. Grab your hot dog, get yourself a soda, and get ready as we prepare to go racing once again, truck style at Milwaukee. February, CBS will bring you live flag-to-flag coverage of the great American race. So the field is rolling once again here. We're ready for the second half. Hey, tomorrow here at Milwaukee, as they take a couple of laps, the Busch Grand National cars, which you saw on CBS from Watkins Glen last week, well, they'll roll them out with Dennis Setzer on the pole tomorrow, Mike Wallace, your little brother, will be second. Jeff Green will be third. David Green will be fourth. And Kenny Wallace fifth when they come down to start that 250-miler. You got anything for him tomorrow,
That's
Kenny?
me, man. Oh, I think I do. You know, the car's running really good, and I just qualified fifth. No really reason. It's just where we ended up. We're less than a tenth off the pole, and it'll be interesting.
Lining up beside Larry Pearson. Boy, that's a great row.
Larry's a great race car driver. Sure. I'll tell you the story here as we look at the trucks going into turn 2 here. You know, Dennis Setzer, we showed some footage of him there during that break. I mean, you know, it always seems when somebody's down and out, something good happens. I mean, you know, his Grand National team's getting ready to close up. Here the guy is. He's on the pole for tomorrow's race here at Milwaukee.
The last performance by that team.
Right, and right now he's a threat to win this race. It'd be great for him to have a really good week here, and you know, just something come along to keep his team going. This truck right here, his career right now is he's a great driver, but they're threatening to close his team up, and he's running great right now. So let's hope the best for this 30 truck to run really good right now, because this is a story.
He told me yesterday that he plans to run about 6 or 8 truck races the balance of this year. He wants to stay in the Busch Series if possible.
Take a look at the start of the race for the first half. This is how it began 64 laps ago.
It began with a crash. A couple of trucks got banged together up there in the middle of the pack, and then in the back of the pack it really got wild. 6 trucks in all were involved in that first crash before they even got to the start-finish line.
This is a technical lap, none-counting lap right now. These last 2 laps will get green, and we come by this time and go racing once again, NASCAR Super Truck style. If you like the Super Trucks, drop a line to NASCAR down in Daytona Beach to Dennis Hult, H-U-L-T-H. It's the guy that's, there were 4 principals out on the West Coast that got this thing started, but Dennis, H-U-L-T-H, he's the guy that's really been the proponent of the truck race series. And when they started, the promoters, even when they had just 3 or 4 trucks, said, okay, we'll take the gamble on it.
They were sure they were going to do it. I think he spells his name. I'm going to do it another way, Ken.
Okay.
One of us will be wrong. It's H-U-T-H.
H-U-T-H.
Yeah. So we won't have him.
You're dead right.
One of us is wrong.
You're dead right. No,
okay.
As always, you're 100% right. Absolutely.
You know, these trucks...
Notice he said car once.
Yeah, well, we're all making it. These trucks have been interesting because what happens is, you know, we need corporate backing to race. And the trucks are all over the United States. They outsell cars big time. And what better thing to do than to put trucks out here and run them and get a sport going. And, you know, we got the off-road truck racing, and now we're getting ready for the start. And there's the tailgate.
Hey, I'm a pickup truck man. I love pickups. I got to have one in my driveway.
That's right.
Have a truck.
358 cubic inches, 650 horsepower, getting cranked out with 20 cars in the lead lap as we go back racing. Ron Hornaday, Skinner up in front, Setzer third, Corelli fourth, Sprague fifth, Rutland sixth, Benson at 7th, Miller in 8th. As they go down into that back straightaway on the Milwaukee Mile.
And we'll see in a few laps here all of those changes that many of the drivers made. How will it affect their trucks?
Dennis Setzer, they're running third, did not get a real good start. Let's see if he can close it up. He said in the beginning that he was not real good on starts.
Yeah, he got behind a lap truck and cost him a little time. And here's Skinner going for the lead. Didn't waste any time. He got on the inside of Hornaday coming off of turn 4. He's going to make the pass coming up, or is he? Coming off of turn 2? Yes, he gets that bite, and there he goes.
Skinner looking for win number 5 of 1995. Back down in front of Hornaday.
Well, the changes that made it halfway mark. Now, the 3 truck's still a little bit high. The 16 truck, Ron Hornaday, still real low. They're still running the same groove that they did earlier.
Look at that battle just behind them. 4th place. And there you see Sprague on the inside of Corelli.
And he makes the pass. He said at halftime that he believed he could win this race. He's on the way.
Rutman there in 6th in the number 84 truck.
That 31 truck at the left of your screen, Jack Sprague said he put in a bigger sway bar. What that'd do is that'd take roll out of the front end. In other words, the front end will not roll over as much, and it will keep weight on that left rear tire, make him tighter.
Exactly. That could be a bigger factor later on as his tires get worn than it might be right now.
Jack Sprague in the 31 is closing on Setzer in number 30. The Spring Lake, Michigan 31-year-old campaigner. 6 in points, is definitely moving up. The white red numeral, number 31. Corelli and Rutman behind him.
What's interesting about Jack Sprague's sponsor, Motorsports Design, that is one of the people that supply all the decals for these trucks located in High Point, North Carolina.
From Joe Rutman's vantage point, in 6th. Skinner has led 35 laps today. Hornaday 33. And Setzer nearly won.
And here's the bid for the lead once again. Down on the inside comes Hornaday. He's got a run on him going into turn 3. He'll make the pass, and Setzer has caught them.
Boy, they are having a good time. Look at Skinner come back on the outside and just flog that rig.
Can't imagine with these relatively fresh tires that he could stay out there and get that good of a bite, even with fresh tires on that outside, but he's doing it. I thought that Hornaday would get a better bite coming off the inside.
Perched right there in 3rd place. Setzer drives up on the inside along with Hornaday, and Skinner still fights his way about a foot in front. This is at lap 70. They are working the 70th lap. And Skinner on the outside makes the move.
You know, although that 3 truck is not Dale Earnhardt, that reminds me of Dale Earnhardt so much, just aggravating the heck out of you, staying on that outside and just keep running you lap after lap. You can't let your truck slide up because he's there, and that's vintage Dale Earnhardt, although it's Mike Skinner and doing one heck of a job.
Next Super Truck race on the 3/8. Colorado, that beautiful Colorado National Track. If you like short track racing, folks, you're going to get to see some here on CBS. This is the 2nd time this year that the Super Trucks have run on the mile at Phoenix, Arizona. They were a great success, and it was Skinner.
Here comes Setzer down on the inside. Ron Hornaday went a little bit high in turn 4. That gave Setzer the opening that he was looking for. But can he make the pass? Hornaday couldn't make the pass a moment ago down on the inside on Skinner. Can Setzer do it?